Good morning, viewer. Biendas here. Here's a breaking news. Yeah, it is common knowledge that our brains, and specifically our brain cells, store memories. But a team of scientists has discovered that cells from other parts of the body also perform a memory function, opening new pathways for understanding how memory works and creating the potential to enhance learning and to treat memory related affiliation. Learning and memory are generally associated with the brains and brain cells alone, but our study shows that other cells in the body can learn and form memories too. Yeah, explains Newark University's Nikolai V. Kukushkin, the lead author of the study, which appears in the journal Nature Communication. The research showed to better understand if non-brain cells help the memory by borrowing from a long-established neurological property, the masked spaced effect, which shows that we tend to retain information better when studied in spaced intervals rather than a single intensive session, better known as cramming for a test. In the research, the scientists replicated learning over time by studying two types of non-brain human cells in the laboratory, one from nerve tissue and one from kidney tissue, and exposing them to different patterns of chemical signals. Just like brain cells are exposed to patterns of neurotransmitters when we learn new information. In response, the non-brain cells turn on a memory gene, the same gene that brain cells turn on when they detect a pattern in the information and restructure their connections in order to form memories. To monitor the memory and learning processes, the scientists engineered these non-brain cells to make a glowing protein which indicated when the memory gene was on and when it was off. The results showed that these cells could determine when the chemical pulses, which imitated bursts of neurotransmitters in the brain, were repeated rather than simply prolonged, just as neurons in our brain can register when we learn with breaks rather than cramming all the materials in one setting. Specifically, when the pulses were delivered in spaced out intervals, they turned on the memory gene more strongly and for a longer time than when the same treatment was delivered all at once. This reflects the masked space effect in action, says Kukushkin, a clinical associate professor of life science at NYU Liberal Studies and a research fellow at NYU's Center for Neural Science. It shows that the ability to learn from spaced repetition is not unique to brain cells, but in fact might be a fundamental property of all cells. Bear this exclusive.